Hello, science students, it's Ms. Mitchell. So we are looking at the Inquiry Lab physical and chemical changes. You should have a Google Doc version of this that you can fill in the observations on your chart. You'll be getting the observations from this video and then you'll be answering the questions. So there's our procedure we're going to look at. This is the chart you're going to be filling out the before and after for the observations you're making. This is experiment 3. And then there's questions that you can answer later. So right now, for this particular part, all you're looking for is filling out the chart. You can always go back and answer the questions later. Okay, so I'm looking under experiment 3. It says put on rubber gloves and goggles. This is not actually an experiment. It's a demonstration, just so you know, because that language in there kind of bothers me. But anyway, add 4 teaspoons of water to a glass. So I've got my teaspoon here. And I put my water just in this little pitcher thing. You can, it's not so important when it's water, but like when I'm baking something, I'll usually put a bowl under when I'm measuring something, just so that if I, go over a little bit, it goes into the bowl. It just makes things easier if you're trying to pour something, and you want to make sure that you don't have any spills. Okay, so there's a 4 teaspoons of water. Measure out 1/2 teaspoon of calcium chloride and add it to the water. Stir to dissolve as much of the calcium chloride as you can. Make your observations about this mixture. Okay, so this is the calcium chloride powder that I have. It's a supplement, so it's pure calcium chloride, whereas sometimes these will be used for de-icing, but sometimes then they have like other things in them. So I just got this so I could have pure calcium chloride. They're little crystals. They really just look like, just like table salt would look, right? Which is sodium chloride, but this is calcium chloride. And I'll try to make it, there we go. Then you can kind of focus on what it looks like. Little white crystals. That's part of your before observations. Then we're putting the white crystals into the water, which is just clear water, and mixing it up. So when we mix it up, I'm just going to make sure that there's no more solids. We're trying to dissolve it, like it said. So we want to mix this up and dissolve this, just like you would make salt water with table salt. So you can see it's a cloudy liquid, but the solid has been dissolved. Now we're going to do the same thing with the baking soda. We're going to put 4 teaspoons of water in the glass, and then we're going to do the baking soda. There's 3 teaspoons and a tablespoon, so I'm just going to do one tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon just to make it faster. That is 4 teaspoons of water in the second glass. And then our next step, step 5, measure out 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and add it to the water. I'm cleaning out my 1/2 teaspoon so it doesn't have the other thing in yet. We don't want to have the reaction yet. We are going to have a reaction happening here. That's what we're building up to. So baking soda, I bet you're more likely to have seen baking soda before than calcium chloride. It's more of, like a powder than a salt. It's not a crystal, it's a white powder. And we are going to put this into here, the second glass, and we're going to stir that up. And we're also, this time, going to dissolve it. That dissolved really easily. So now the powder's gone and we just have a cloudy liquid. Baking soda and water. So step 6, carefully pour the baking soda mixture into the calcium chloride mixture and complete your observation. Hint, in addition to looking at the mixture, feel the outside of the glass with your hands. All right, so there's the calcium chloride mixture. I'm going to take this one and pour it into there, and you're going to observe. And it is fizzing. I don't know if you can hear that, because observing we do with all our senses. So we hear some fizzing. I'll put it closer. Maybe you can hear the fizzing. Hopefully you heard that. And look, some white solid, we call that a precipitate, is forming. So it started out as two dissolved, two liquids, water with the solids dissolved in them. Now that they've combined, they're fizzing, which indicates that some gas is being released. It's not just bubbles that you'd have from mixing something. It's a fizzing that is showing that there's some gas bubbles being formed. And then you can also see, especially when I tilt it, you can see, oh yeah, there's quite a bit of this white solid being formed there. So some kind of precipitate, some kind of reaction is happening that's making a new substance. So in this particular part of our module, we're not going to figure out yet. You could look it up if you wanted to, find out what that was made. But right now, we're just making the observations to show that a chemical change did happen and something new was made. So some of those indications are that fizzing that we hear, that a gas is being produced. Okay, so that's the end of the demonstration part. So go ahead and fill in the chart, answer the questions, and send me a message if you need any more information. All right, have a great day.